What if I were to tell you that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth already told us how Zack will join the main party in Part 3 of the Remake Trilogy, but somehow we all missed it? I haven't seen a lot of people talking about this yet, so let's break that down in this video. This video will contain spoilers, so be warned in advance. Whether you loved Zack's inclusion in Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth or not, most people finished Rebirth and wondered why he wasn't in the game more, especially after being teased so heavily at the end of Remake and even appearing on the cover art for Rebirth. The good news is, Zack still has a role to play in Part 3, given the final scene where he's in the Sector 5 church of some unidentified world. In fact, the devs have even teased this point in the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Ultimania, which noted, "There is no loyal stamp shown when Zack awakens in the church after the final battle. Therefore, it's unclear in which world this scene takes place." That sets up some exciting questions I'll tackle in this video, including, what will happen to Zack during the final installment? How will the devs make him relevant to the overall plot changes in the Remake series so that his survival and inclusion truly matter? And is Zack's fate still going to be the same? Or can it be changed and he will ultimately survive? To understand what might happen with Zack in the Part 3 of the Remake project, we should review his role in the events leading up to it. To do that, let's start by recapping Crisis Core, the story before Rebirth, in 60 seconds or less. We'll call it Gone Gaga in 60 seconds. Zack joined Shinra's Soldier program because he really wanted to be a hero. Lazard, director of Soldier, even made fun of him by saying,
"Unattainable dreams are the best kind."
As a soldier, Zack met a number of familiar faces, including an aspiring ninja named Yuffie, all of the Turks, a Shinra trooper named Cloud, and a teenage Aerith. He actually flirted with Aerith, encouraged her to sell flowers, and even built a wagon for her. Zack learned the existing heroes he idolized in the Soldier program. Angeal, Genesis, and Wunderkind Sephiroth were uncontrolled Shinra experiments.
No way, he just ate my hair.
Which caused him to question both Shinra and those he trusted most. During a fateful mission to Nibelheim, Zack met a young guide named Tifa, and basically mass chaos ensued. After serving as a test subject for a couple of years, Zack escaped with a Mako-poisoned Cloud. And by the time Zack survived his encounter with Shinra's army, many people already considered Zack to be a hero and role model. Crisis Core established Zack as someone who constantly inspires those around him, and Zack plays this role to perfection in Rebirth. Throughout the entirety of Part 2, we see how Zack has always inspired people, and he brings hope to everyone he meets. So Tetsu...
Yeah, Zack told me the same thing. Hard to live up to the legacy of a guy like that.
Marlene...
Biggs isn't coming back. Tifa isn't coming back. Daddy isn't coming back. Nobody's coming back ever again.
Sure they will. And I know just how to prove it to you. I'll go and get Biggs. Right now.
Mean it?
Guess who I just saw? Biggs.
Really?
Said he'd visit, too.
Oh, yay!
Elmira...
Do you think this means she's going to wake up?
Maybe. Can always hope.
Biggs...
We're not powerless. So long as we don't lose sight of what's important. Hopes, dreams, maybe? Something like that. So long as we've got those. And hold on tight and never let go.
Like this?
Like your life depends on it.
The world's lucky to have you. It's a start.
And there will be a moment in Part 3 where hope is needed more than ever when Cloud goes missing in the northern crater. But what will that look like exactly? Let's think about that for a second in greater detail. Following the conclusion of Rebirth, the party eventually arrives at the northern crater and loses Cloud, who falls into the life stream, just as in the OG. Part 3 then continues to follow the original game's plot points to escape Junon aboard the Highwind. However, once the search for Cloud begins, players who immediately jet over to Mideel, of course, but they don't find Cloud there waiting for them. Instead, players are fed rumors about sightings of a soldier wielding a Buster Sword, which fits Cloud's description. But think about what it could be like if, after following all those breadcrumbs, jet setting through the skies in the Highwind from one location to the next, the final clue leads us to Gongaga. Makes sense, right? Tifa fell into the lifestream and came back out while we were there in Rebirth, so we know there's an entrance and an exit at that location. We finally arrive at the village, and are surprised that we don't actually find Cloud. We see Zack. I mean, this wouldn't be the first time the devs introduced the idea of using the Buster Sword to incorrectly identify Cloud or Zack. It actually already happened at the start of Rebirth.
Ex-soldier, armed with a Buster Sword. Highly dangerous.
I repeat, the fugitive is an ex-soldier, armed with a Buster Sword.
He's got a Buster Sword!
At the time Rebirth came out, there was a debate amongst the fanbase about whether the Shinra troopers were talking about Cloud or Zack, and I believe Part 3 will pick up that idea and run with it to give us one heck of a surprise. It's then that we learn Zack ended up in the Sector 5 church of the Beagle world at the end of Rebirth. Finding that both Cloud and Aerith were not anywhere to be found in Midgar, maybe he told Elmira and Marlene, who would still be at Aerith's house, just like in the alternate world where Zack came from, that he wants to head home and check on his parents. Or, given the history with the Turks, maybe he learned some of the events about Remake and Rebirth from them and heads out into the world to track the party down. To have Zack, whose very mantra is to hold on to hopes and dreams like your life depends on it, the concept of him stepping into reality from a dream would be extremely poetic. And bringing Zack into the Beagle world and introducing him in this way would set up all sorts of interesting dynamics in Part 3. Let's look at a few of those specifically. Taking this approach would give players a Buster Sword wielding character to fill Cloud's spot on the roster and add a fresh dynamic to the party while they deal with the various events leading up to when Cloud and Tifa finally rejoin the party and subsequently Mosey. Also, Zack already has an entire fighting style and mechanic which could be carried over from Rebirth, even if it has to be tweaked. And Square Enix could also bring back the DMW if they really wanted Zack to stand out from the rest of the party. And just think about what the opportunities could exist for amazing synergy attacks and abilities with all the various party members, similar to what happened with Cloud and Zack at the end of Rebirth. Additionally, the interactions between Zack and various characters would be extremely neat, especially because he's already met some of them before, as we reviewed earlier. What would he think when he sees Tifa, who is now all grown up and kicking ass? What might his interactions with Cisne and the rest of the Turks be like? And how would Yuffie react to seeing him now? She did have a crush on Zack after they ran into each other in Wutai, and even referenced him in Cloud's date scene with her in Rebirth.
I had a thing for a soldier once. At least I think he was a soldier. I wanted to prove myself, so I hit him with my best moves. It was like I was firing energy blasts. After a few salvos, he shouted, "You got me!" And at the time, I totally bought it. Of course, he was just playing along for a dumb kid. And once I realized that, I was pissed. I couldn't stop thinking about him. I swore to myself that one day I'd blast that jerk for real. Did some hardcore training so I could give him a beatdown. But eventually, it dawned on me. He was just being nice. Like he was a really nice guy. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized, wow, I liked him, you know? Hey, if I ever see that guy again, what should I do?
That's up to you. But if it were me,
I let him have it.
And what would Zack make of this encounter? He was fighting for Shinra against Wutai when he first met Yuffie. But with another war brewing against Wutai and all of Zack's experiences with Shinra, will he decide to redefine the concept of a soldier's honor and choose to fight for Yuffie's homeland instead? And what would Zack's exchanges be like with those unknown to him, such as Barrett, Nanaki, Sid, Kate Sith, and Vincent? Lastly, while we're on the subject of the other characters, how will Zack respond to the news that Sephiroth successfully killed Aerith? It would be interesting to see how this information would impact somebody who is always such an optimist, as I believe it would carry huge dramatic weight and give a character like him actual depth as he deals with an immense loss. From a main narrative standpoint, it would give Zack the motivation he needs to join the party's efforts in stopping Sephiroth and Shinra once and for all. In my Shattered Planet theory video, which you can check out if you haven't already by clicking the button on screen, I laid out an argument for my belief that the various worlds introduced by the remake project could be wrapped up or gone by the end of Part 3. As such, this idea would inject Zack directly into the main narrative and provide a way for his character arc to actually matter to the larger story the devs are telling in the remake project. Whether he still dies by the end, or he lives and provides some measure of a different ending to make the remake journey worthwhile, is anybody's guess. But this way of weaving Zack into the plot would be impactful for sure. If this idea pans out, I'm not sure whether we'll even see Zack in Part 3 until we find him while looking for Cloud, or if we'll get more Zack interludes to follow his journey as he leaves Midgar and follows the party's trail from Rebirth. But if they do have us continue to follow Zack, they'd have to be careful not to show any depictions of Stamp, which would spoil the reveal that he's now in the Beagle world with the rest of our characters. Regardless of whether this is specifically how Zack will be reunited with the party in Part 3, or if it happens differently, there's no question that enough was set up in Rebirth to demonstrate just how great Zack's inclusion into our cast of characters could be. And at the point when our team is at their lowest, as the end of the world approaches, Zack could be the ray of hope they need. So that's my thoughts about the most reasonable and compelling way Zack could fit into the finale of the Final Fantasy VII Remake project. But what do you think? What would it take for the concepts of defying fate for freedom and Zack's journey in the remake series to pay off and truly matter? And how would you as players feel if, after all of Zack's experiences in the canon of FF7, the price of his freedom and ultimate survival is the steep cost of Aerith's death? Be sure to let us know your own ideas as well, because I definitely want to hear them. And also, please remember to like the video or subscribe to the channel, because more content is on its way to lead up to Part 3. Also, if you want to explore Zack's journey through Crisis Core and Rebirth even further, you should absolutely check out a video titled Zack Fair, A Beacon of Hope by Dan the Zam, as he does a simply fantastic job of breaking down Zack's journey and highlighting all the ways that Zack brings hope to everyone around him. Dan made an amazing video which I highly recommend watching. It'll likely convince you to subscribe to him for more great Final Fantasy VII content. And if you're looking for more in-depth analysis of Crisis Core and Final Fantasy VII, I'd also suggest checking out Sleepezi's channel. His breakdowns on the lifestream and lore of this series already have a great reputation, so I'm just one more person saying his content is extremely interesting and well worth the watch. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to stop by SubTXT YouTube and Twitch channels. His analysis of storytelling is top-notch. His breakdown of Rebirth and its surprising ending is widely acclaimed, and his recent streams of the Shinra Archaeology mod of the OG Final Fantasy VII have been fascinating, to say the least. SubTXT helped me with organizing my thoughts for this video, and he's a phenomenal creator, so absolutely go check him out. Thanks for watching, and until next time,
Hang